Hello, welcome to Sportsaholics Unanimous. This is our first episode, so first that we're actually titling it Episode 0. So put it this way, if this is the first time that comes out, sit back, relax, hopefully everything is good. If you're listening to this after many episodes on the line, odds are you're in for a train wreck or something. So we're going to start off with the top headlines. Today is Thursday, February 7th, 2019. I'm joined by my two co-hosts,
Dylan,
Nick,
and we're just going to go through the top headlines and then tackle some of the more controversial topics in the sports world. So let's hit the headlines. First one, Brian Flores is named the head coach of the Dolphins. What's your take?
Interesting to say the least. We kind of knew about it before the season ended, and then once the Super Bowl finished, it was official, so wasn't really surprised. What about you, Nick?
I like the hire overall. I think he's a good fit for Miami in the sense that they need work all over, from offense, defense, everything. Yeah. And he's literally worked in every position. He started out as a scout with the Patriots. He went up to special teams. He's done offense, defense, obviously, how he ended with the Patriots. So we'll see if hopefully he could help turn that around a little bit, but doesn't have much to work with there.
Yeah, no. I mean, my man, he was calling plays for New England this year on defense. And, you know, he may have been 21st in yards per game, but they were 7th in points allowed. And we saw how they shut down teams in the playoffs. I mean, that has to be part of the defense, play calling.
I mean, he wasn't even like the defensive coordinator.
No.
It was just, he's the
linebackers coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give him a quick shout out. He is actually from Brownsville, Brooklyn. He went to Poly Prep.
Wow.
From the area.
Yeah, buddy.
Another big thing, just to leave off on, he's trying to get Jim Caldwell and Dom Capers as his assistants. Two veteran coaches, which I think is a great move for a guy who doesn't have any head coaching experience.
We'll see how it goes.
It could work. It couldn't work. It's all up to him and how he runs his organization.
Yeah.
Again, though, not much to work with there.
Not much of a track record.
I think they're really in the mode where they have to revamp, but they don't really want to. But at this point, you got to do it. That's the only way they're going to be able to step it up.
They're in complete rebuild mode.
Yeah.
True. They're also the second AFC East team to sign an AFC East coach, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. So the next headline, and this one's a little more interesting to me, is that the NFL has reached a year now where they can exercise an option to leave their deal with DirecTV for a Sunday ticket. Now, I've personally had bad experiences trying to get Sunday ticket to work and trying to sign up for it. You guys have any opinion on this?
Not necessarily Sunday ticket, but DirecTV.
Okay.
It's not very reliable. It's shaky throughout. I know I switched from DirecTV to Fios, and it's like night and day. So seeing a company like Amazon take over, I think it's going to be a great move.
I think also just the exclusiveness of it, DirecTV, to go to something like Amazon, that it's much more, say, of an open platform. I think they're going to get more people to go for it and get it. And, I think it's a good move.
Like you said, the name is it's Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, and to that point, Bezos was in the commissioner's suite during the Super Bowl. Yep. Amazon has a couple commercials. And I think the biggest thing is that Amazon already has Thursday Night Football. So they have experience in hosting games, handling that kind of traffic, live event latency. These are things that you have to overcome. And I think that they've already proven it. Another quote that I'd want to bring up while we're on this topic is the NFL Chief Media and Business Officer, Brian Rolapp, told, I think it was Forbes last year, that they turned down higher bids for Thursday Night Football. And they gave it to Fox because they were afraid to put it in fully digital distribution. They wanted to have some sort of cable tie. Now, I don't think that that's something they need to worry about anymore. I think that's a different time.
Yeah.
I agree. You're right. It's a completely different time, and I think something like giving it to Amazon, and you see just by like how the idea is now, this is going to be going to Amazon too, Sunday ticket. One by one, it's all just going to go there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, just for note for listeners and for you guys, the current bid by DirecTV is $1.5 billion. Wow. And I don't think that's something that Google or Amazon would have any trouble meeting.
Definitely not. Amazon is on the up and up, even now.
Yeah.
It's been on the up and up since before we were, teens.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's becoming a legitimate streaming platform.
Yeah.
So the next thing I want to talk about is Greg Schiano is rumored to become the next Pats D coordinator. Any thoughts on that? This is a guy who had some success at Rutgers, actually coached the McCourty brothers, brought Rutgers to an 11-2 record, and they were 12th in the country. And then he got a job as the Bucks head coach, went 11-21, was very controversial. He became known for being the coach who rushed Eli Manning while he was trying to kneel the ball in an attempt to make him fumble.
Yeah, that seems to be like his big known thing now. The pushes a little too much when he shouldn't, like unsportsmanlike. But like you said, he coached the McCourty brothers as well as safety Daron Harriman. And the only thing that I think he's going to be good in this aspect, as much as he did have some success as a head coach, his overall record as a head coach wasn't great. The NFL, like you said, 11-21. In college, it was 68 and 67.
Yeah.
So he did have his upsides, but overall, average. But as a defensive coordinator and under Bill Belichick, it's the Patriots, I think he'll be a decent enough fit.
Well, so another thing, I mean, he's currently the Ohio State D coordinator, but he was actually lined up to have a job as Tennessee, the Volunteers head coach, and he actually had it, but due to social media upcry about his time under Sandusky in Penn State, he got a lot of flack, and they decided to terminate the hire. Wow. However, through all of that, who stood by his side? Bill Belichick. Vouched for the man. Now he's going to hire him. You think that kind of culture does well in like a Belichick style?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
Especially because he gave him the support so far back. Like, now he's going to hire him as D coordinator. That defense was already good. We saw it in the Super Bowl, the playoffs. The regular season, not so much, but when it mattered, they were top notch. And I think it's going to get even better.
The Patriots' defense in general has always been... No one really talks about it. It's always the offense. Honestly, like, if you could keep it to an average enough defense, they're going to compete. Like, it's...
Yeah.
You got Brady still there.
No, that's true.
You got Brady and Belichick. That's it. That's all you need.
And we'll get more on that later.
Yes, we will.
So the next story, sort of staying in football. NBA has had a plethora of stories today. We're going to get to them later. MLB has had a big story we're going to get to in a few. So we're just going through some of the NFL stories. The Falcons have cut a trio of old fan favorites. Robert Alford. He actually signed with the Cardinals today. So that's, breaking news there. Matt Bryant, one of the oldest kickers, actually the Falcons' all-time scoring leader. So,
Wow. Just wow.
And then finally, Brooks Reed, a little lesser known, edge rusher. He's known for, in the 2017 season opener, having the game-clinching sack that clinched a walk-off victory against the Bears. Not as much as the other two, but I figured I'd mention it since they were kind of lumped in together.
Why? Like, what are they thinking?
I'm sorry, I want to issue a correction. Robert Alford is a cornerback. That he is known for intercepting Tom Brady in Super Bowl 51 and returning it 82 yards for a touchdown.
I remember that.
Yeah. I mean, there really doesn't have to be a bunch of thoughts on this. Do you guys have any parting words?
I think they're crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Those are two of their better known and better assets, especially Bryant, the all-time leading scorer for the team. I don't care if he's old. Look at Vinatieri. He puts out.
I mean, if you look at it, I think it just means they're going not to say full-on rebuild, but they're trying to go a little younger, I feel like.
I think so.
If you look between these three guys, all together, they've played 31 seasons in the NFL, 20 seasons combined for the Falcons alone. Like, I think the Falcons, they have to find something to put them over that edge that they just haven't been able to hit yet.
Yeah, they're stuck in a purgatory right now.
Yeah, and I think this is their way of trying to say, all right, let's try to bring in something new.
To make a culture change, yeah.
Yeah.
They also hired Cutter.
Yep.
A month ago or two.
Dirk Cutter.
Former head coach of the Bucks.
All right, so one last quote-unquote football story. The AAF debuts this weekend.
Woo! I saw that.
So, if you really, really miss football, you've got football.
If you really miss football.
So, the biggest thing, at least that I've heard recently, is the rules changes that they've implemented for the league. So I'm just going to go through a couple of them here, and I want to get your guys' takes. I'll put in my 2 cents. So the AAF will have a 9th member of the officiating crew, a sky judge, as it's called, that can instantly correct obvious and egregious officiating errors. The sky judge will use real-time technology to clear errors involving player safety, like targeting, anytime during a game, and can even overturn pass interference inside 5 minutes left of the 4th quarter. I think this is a pretty direct response, but...
Yeah. I think definitely know where this one should go.
At that Saints game, huh?
But what do you think? You think
only 5 minutes left in the 4th?
So pass interference can only be overturned in the last 5 minutes.
That's
Other calls can be
Saints
overturned
game,
during the regular game.
Okay. So the PI is just the end.
Yeah. So it's like, for instance, if they call pass interference with 10 minutes left in the quarter, sky judge can't overturn it.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a new
just
view.
an expansion, I think, on instant replay. All right. Next one. This one's interesting. Games will start without kickoffs. There will be a coin toss with the winner deciding whether to receive or defer. That team gets the ball at their own 25-yard line.
I don't like it.
No? Why?
It takes away from the game.
I mean, yeah.
I love the kickoff and the element of that guy can return it 99 yards and just run all over a special teams, you know?
I mean, there are guys who make their careers on just that.
Devin Hester.
Devin Hester, yep.
Shout out to Andre Roberts.
Yeah. Well, you're going to hate most of these rule changes, though, because honestly, in the end, if you look at it, this is where the NFL is ultimately trying to go, or the way that little by little it looks like they're leading to.
Yeah, all of these rules are made with player safety in mind.
Yeah,
like,
this is
entertainment.
Yeah. At the end of looking, once we go over all these rules, this is literally kind of what the NFL is trying to make it.
Well, this is what the AFL offers, sort of like a lab. So let's go to the next one here. The AAF's play clock will be 35 seconds, which is 5 seconds shorter than the NFL's.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know if that's going to make a huge difference.
It's 5 seconds, but then again, you could...
Well, there you go. You times 5 seconds by every drive.
Yeah.
So,
you could drive teams to use timeouts earlier, later, whatever.
It leads to a lot more plays being done. And if you look at it from the preseason games alone, the minimum amount of points scored by a team in a game was 44.
Jesus
The
Christ.
average is 51. So, I mean...
Props to you for looking those stats up, because I was not looking at preseason AAF standings.
But they just kind of fell in my lap when I was
Someone was handing out pamphlets at the subway. I was like, yeah, I'll take one.
Watch the AAF, because no one else is going to talk about it. Oh,
feel bad for CBS, man. They said you get the Super Bowl and then AAF. Oh, boy.
That's how you balance it out.
Yeah. I wonder if Tony Romo's going to be there calling the game.
Hey, there we go.
Sheesh. All right, the next one. There are no television timeouts during games and fewer commercials to reduce the overall game time to roughly 150 as opposed to 180 in the NFL. Yes, that's nice. I mean,
the only thing I see with this and the whole play clock thing is that means these players are going to have a lot less to say, like, of that short downtime to get quick breathers.
That's a good point.
So,
I didn't think of that.
as much as there is this whole safety aspect, and they are trying to make it more offensive and more, to say, enjoyable to watch, there are some minor little things like that could kind of go against it.
Guys could get hurt like that, too.
That's a really good point. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that takes away some breaks. All right, 2 more. On defense, no more than 5 players may rush on passing plays. No defensive player may rush from a position of more than 2 yards outside the widest offensive lineman and more than 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. Exceptions would be made for play action, RPOs, or if the ball leaves the tackle box. If caught, there will be a 15-yard penalty for illegal defense.
All right, this just sounds like flag football now. There's too many exceptions, too many, like, you have to go from here and there. I'm not even going to try to pretend like I heard everything you said. And, no. No.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I mean, again, this is one of those things where I get where they're coming from. I get why they made the rule, but it's just not. No, it's not football. It's
Blitz whole fucking 11.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said. I get. I mean, like I said, I get it. I get. You don't want to hurt the guy. You don't want to. You want to reduce sacks and tackles as much as possible.
But then, how much can you limit before it's like, this isn't football anymore?
No, I get you. All right, so this one to me is the most interesting one.
Uh-oh.
Onside kicks are not part of the alliance, and instead, onside conversions will be a new addition. If a team is trailing by 17 or more points inside of 5 minutes, they must convert a 4th and 12 from their own 28 to keep the ball.
That's interesting.
Thoughts?
I mean, you take away the kickoff, you gotta give them some type of way to do an onside kick.
Exactly.
It's interesting.
It's a
I
very
feel like
creative
with
way.
how tough onside kicks are, I know one 12-yard play is also very difficult, but I don't know how to say equivalent or I don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely an interesting way to make up for getting rid of kicks completely and having to still have that onside kick in there, but
I mean, a lot of these benefit the offense. A lot of these rules.
Yeah.
So I might even say 12 is not long enough.
That's what I'm thinking.
15,
not
20,
20, 15, yeah. I mean, you
I'm
want
looking
to try
forward
and
to
measure
seeing
the
that.
skill difference.
Because that honestly, at that point, I'm kicking more onside. Kicking, like, not, whatever.
Yeah, you want to
onside
discourage
conversion.
Well, that's why
whatever
they
you
have to
wanna
put
call
that 17-point thing. Because why wouldn't you do this?
Yeah,
even if
exactly.
I'm winning.
I'm looking forward to seeing that, though.
Yeah.
Like, when the first one happens, it's going to be a highlight everywhere.
No, that's the thing. I have to admit, reading these rules makes me want to tune in Saturday and see
Again,
what
it
that's why they're
makes
doing
the game.
Yeah.
There's more watch time, less commercials. It's a lot more scoring. Also, they completely took out extra point kicks.
Yeah.
So it's
you have to go
only
for
2-point conversions.
Yeah.
So even higher scoring in that sense.
They've taken out all kicking. There's no kicking.
Yeah, there is
in
no
this game.
kicking. Except, there's punting, I
think
believe,
there's
so,
punting.
right? Yeah,
I think
they
there's
still
punting,
punt
but there's
the
no
ball.
kicking, no
There's
place
no
kicking.
full, kickoffs,
Yeah.
extra point, So,
There's punting.
it's actually kind of interesting.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Interesting as a separate sport, but I
That's
don't want
why-
it coming to the NFL.
Exactly. That's why
Which
I want to
is-
see it.
yeah.
If I like it, hey. If I like it, I like it. But I don't
If
know.
I like it, I still don't want it to come to the NFL.
Let them be separate entities.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of former NFL busts in the AAFL.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see. Just a quick thing. It's not on the list, but I recently found this out. Bob Stoops, former Oklahoma coach, will be one of the coaches in the XFL. So that'll be interesting. Yeah.
When does that start up?
XFL is I think next year.
2020, I think, right?
Yeah, 2020, yeah. All right, so now, arguably the top story of the day, JT Realmuto goes to the Phillies. 4 players, including, what's his name? Sixto Sanchez, Will Stewart, and Jorge Alfaro, and some international bonus slot money goes back to the Marlins. What are your takes?
I think it's a great move.
For who?
For both.
Okay.
Derek Jeter is an evil genius. in this.
I just want to let everybody listening know Dylan is a Yankees fan and a staunch Derek Jeter supporter.
Yes.
Just,
Yes.
laying all the cards out on the table. And I'm a Mets fan. I don't know what Nick is.
I'm a Mets fan. Asshole.
he says that.
I think that says it all right there.
Yeah. Okay, but honestly, if you're looking at what Jeter's doing and what he did from the beginning, where he said, when he first came in, he said, I want to get rid of all the big contracts, lower the payroll, and start young. Granted, the guys that he got rid of were young. He wanted to start brand new prospects. That's it.
That's a controversial way to do it, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, they started off with arguably one of the most controversial moves, sending your best player to your former team.
And an MVP that year.
Yeah.
And then he sent Yelich.
Yep, he sent the MVP next year as well.
Yes.
That Marlins outfield, it was arguably one of, if
bad.
not the best.
It was a top 5 outfield.
It
in
wasn't
baseball.
that bad. I think that's why it was a harder pill to swallow as a Marlins fan. Is that you didn't have a terrible team. You just had a young, inexperienced team, and they're going to have a young, inexperienced team.
Yeah.
You thought that was young and inexperienced.
But I think the argument here, well, not argument, but narrative per se, was those guys were on the team with Jose.
Yeah.
And for our listeners, that's Jose Fernandez. He tragically passed in a boat accident. I read an article somewhere that said those guys were so traumatized and so just, they weren't themselves.
No,
and going to the ballpark and going to the clubhouse and doing their everyday things and Jose not being there, that hits home. That's hard.
No, that's true.
So,
I can see that.
In Jeter's mind, he wanted to get rid of everybody and just start brand new, and I guess it might work. It might not. Who knows? But he pulled, what's his name? Gary Denbo, player development guy from the Yankees, back when Jeter first got drafted. Guy that helped him develop over the years, and he saw Mo, Andy, Bernie, Posada, all the guys that Jeter played with. He helped develop all these guys, so he pulled him over right away. He's with him, and it's a big piece for Jeter over there in Miami. And I think he knows what he's doing when he's looking at these young guys. He's got, I think his last name's Urena, the pitcher.
Yeah.
He's good. He's going to be their ace for years to come. They got rid of Bohr. He went to Philly last year. He signed with the Angels, I believe.
Yeah.
He's revamping the whole roster, and I like what he's doing.
Well,
but
just to keep it on where we're going here, what do you think of the guys that they got in trade?
That guy Sanchez is really good.
Yeah, out of the bunch, Sixto Sanchez is easily
He's
the
good.
best. Will Stewart's pretty good. He pitched in Class A ball last year.
Yeah.
He had an 8-1 record, 2.06 ERA. It's Class A. We'll see how he progresses and develops.
Yeah, that seems like the more of a long shot.
Jorge
prospect of the
Alfaro,
bench.
Jorge Alfaro. He's a decent young catcher.
I've heard that name a lot.
Yeah, not too bad of guys. Overall, I still think they got robbed, though, and the Phillies went out on that deal completely. But
that was where I was going. They still have the chance to sign Bryce. So that lineup with Real Muto without Bryce is really good. But then you add Bryce or Manny, that lineup instantly becomes a playoff team.
yeah, the Phillies are getting a little bit scary.
No, the Phillies are scary, man. The Phillies are scary. You have Bryce there. They have the money to get Bryce and Machado if they really wanted it.
Let's not even think about
No,
that.
I know. And it's a very long shot, but the possibility is there. And, God forbid the MLB turn into the NBA, and these guys want to play together because they think it's their best chance to get a trophy.
I think it's a little tougher in baseball to do that, though.
It is. That's why you have these two big guys on the market. They've been on the market for a very long time, and the Phillies could offer them both not only money, but a chance to play together on a strong team. The Phillies have made a couple moves, and we'll get into their moves a little bit later on.
Yeah.
All right, so those are the top stories of the day. We're going to move on to our next segment. We like to call it Split the Room. We're going to tackle topics that are maybe controversial, maybe argumentative in nature, and one or two of us is going to support it, and one or two of us is going to negate it. Or if it's just a general question, we're just going to go through and figure out what we each think. Odds are we'll disagree with each other because that's what we do.
Yep, all the time.
Very often.
So, the first category, AFC East teams hiring each other's coaches. Insert Jets hiring Dolphins coach Adam Gase. Insert Dolphins hiring Pats coach Brian Flores. Now, personally, I think this isn't a bad thing. I mean, I think you look at guys like Adam Gase, you look at their track record, 10-8 in the division, not too bad. You know, they've seen the divisional teams before. Adam Gase specifically was 7-2 at home against divisional rivals. If he can do that in New York, call me a happy man. Even if the two are the Patriots, you know. And the other thing is that he's bringing new assistants, except his piss boy offensive coordinator. Looks like freaking Patton Oswalt. Except him, picking guys from all outside the division, which I think is a good thing. Obviously, Flores, like we said, no head coach experience. But does anybody disagree?
I completely disagree, and I think at this point we're just giving the Patriots another division championship without any competition.
Jesus Christ.
I said before, I do like the hiring of Flores in the sense of the Dolphins do need someone to kind of cover all aspects of the team.
Yeah.
But I feel like they definitely need a much more veteran guy to do it. And I just think he's completely being put in a position to fail.
Look, my man directed the Patriots defense, this team that went and, beat some of the best teams in the country. And he's hiring guys who are veteran outside of the division guys. And by all accounts, he's a hardworking guy. He's a guy who's worked his way up through the ranks. And, I think that I think that besides the fact that it's a solid hire, I think him having experience going against all of these teams already is a benefit. And I think that knowing the division opponents, which is half your schedule right off the bat, is a benefit. I think that's a good thing. And I get where you're coming from, that we're just feeding the Patriots. But, I hope not.
I definitely understand. I have no problem with these coaches themselves between Flores and Gase. Obviously, like, Flores, there's the whole... He's unexperienced, but them themselves I don't have too much of an issue with. It's just, I'm not going to feed into this whole going to other teams in the division's going to make that big of a difference. I know it's because you have experience seeing them, but as it is, especially as you could see from this alone, coaches change, coordinators change, everything changes. It's not the exact same team. Of course, there are similarities, and it's like with the Patriots, it's still Bill Belichick's team. So even if you have a new defensive coordinator and play caller, it might not change drastically. It's still not the same team, though.
Yeah. I'm like 50-50 on it. I see where I was coming from. I see where you're coming from. But ultimately, it could benefit in the long run. Because, then they know what to expect from the division rivals. They're not completely, blindsided. Like, that's if, I don't know, let's say Pete Carroll came over to the AFC East to coach the Dolphins one day. It's not going to happen, but if it did, he's not going to get completely blindsided because of his experience, but he'll be completely blindsided in the fact that he doesn't know how so-and-so runs their offense, so-and-so runs their defense in depth, per se, because these guys have seen it before. They know, 2 games a year. So they have the experience. I see what you're saying. Like, I personally, I don't, anything to not give the Patriots an advantage, I'm all for. Because they don't need it. They have Belichick. They have Brady. They don't need anything else. They really don't need any advantages.
I think that's a good note to end on. There's the pros and cons.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to jump into a topic that, to be completely honest with you guys, I have no fucking clue why it's become so popular. I see it on every news outlet. All my friends are talking about it. Is Julian Edelman a Hall of Famer with his current credentials? Who thinks that he is?
Yes,
No.
Julian Edelman is a Hall of Famer
No, he's not.
with his current credentials.
No, he's not.
And this Super Bowl MVP just solidified it.
Okay.
I don't care what you have to say.
Okay. One question, and that's all I'll leave you with.
Oh, Jesus.
Is he as good as Jerry Rice?
Okay, if that's the question, then Jerry Rice should be the only wide receiver in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, no.
If you want to look at his playoff stats, Julian Edelman is second in receptions and yards, only behind Jerry Rice.
Okay. That's fair.
Only behind Jerry Rice.
That's fair.
I didn't know that.
But
And if you give him, he's like 40th in touchdowns, but he scores one more touchdown and he jumps up to 20th because that's how many.
Okay.
It's like 6, 7, and 8. There's like 10, 15 people each.
all right. But take into account who he's got coaching and throwing to him.
Come on, you gotta have something better than that.
Is
I'm
that-
not gonna lie.
is that
I'm just
what we're
saying.
gonna go with?
Pretty good now.
Yeah, I know.
Is that
But-
what we're
but
going to
come
go
on.
I'm a Patriots
But
hater,
come
and
on.
he's making a sound argument.
He is
right
making
now.
a sound argument. Like coming in today, I was like, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but I
That's
can
like
see why
saying Tom
people are
Brady's
saying
not a
he
Hall
is.
of Famer
play.
because of Belichick.
We'll get
Which
into
we'll
that
get
one.
into that later.
We'll get into that later. I don't know.
3-time Super Bowl champion. Just got Super Bowl MVP. I told you his playoff stats. He's first for the Patriots in career punt return touchdowns.
Really?
And
I didn't
he
know.
has... He's not completely up there when it comes to other career stats.
Yeah.
But he does have more receptions than multiple already Hall of Fame wide receivers and tight ends. Some to name: Tommy McDonald, Jackie Smith, Paul Warfield,
All right.
and Mike
Let me
Ditka.
stop the bleeding here.
All right.
Let me stop
So
the
let me-
bleeding
all
here.
right.
Dylan,
Yeah,
give me a reason why not.
Nick
Oh,
killed me.
no.
He killed me.
Oh,
I'm
no.
done. I'm done.
There
And
you go.
with
You saw our
that,
first
Julian
win.
Edelman will be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, man,
Thank
you've
you
seen
very
our first
much.
true win of the
Yeah,
show.
wow.
Jesus Christ, man!
Congrats.
I was on your side.
Congrats.
He turned me. That was a good argument.
That was.
That was
That was.
pro level argument. So, while we're on the topic of the Patriots, is Tom Brady truly the GOAT, or is he getting all of his success from Belichick?
I'm going to start with that one after
Go
my Julian Edelman rant that I just went on. Tom Brady is not the GOAT.
I knew that was coming. I knew it. I'll play devil's advocate on this one because I have views on both sides. I have opinions for both.
No, I think Brady. Hey, I'm a Jets fan, and it burns inside to say this, but I do believe that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback in NFL history.
See, while I can agree with that, the numbers are there, the playoff success is there, the Super Bowl success is there, everything is there. But can you honestly say that Tom Brady would be the same quarterback on a different team under a different coach?
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can.
think I'm not going to say he's completely a system. Like after all of it, you can't
You
say he's
want to call
completely
Tom
a
Brady a
system.
system quarterback?
No,
No.
no. Obviously, a Belichick system makes it a little. It's Belichick, but I'm not going to say he's direct.
Look,
But the man, honestly, doesn't throw the ball more than 5 yards.
Well, this is
He doesn't.
He doesn't. And if we go back to what he said about if he's on another team, as good the pedigree and everything, he's not the best physical like skill-wise quarterback in any sense.
Yeah, but I mean, let's compare him to Peyton Manning, right? Somebody who is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
That's what I was
right?
going to get into.
Peyton Manning has thrown for 71,000 yards. Tom Brady has thrown for 70,000 yards. And what? Manning retired just not too long ago, like a couple of years ago.
I'm not saying he's not a Hall of Famer. I'm not saying he's not one of the best.
Okay, well,
I'm just not going to give him straight up, yes, he's the GOAT.
Well, this is what I feel. I feel like, let's look at Belichick, right? Let's look at Belichick before Brady. He was the coach of who? Who else but the Cleveland Browns? Best record he brought them to was 11-5 in 1994. Right?
Also, the coach of the Jets for a day. Shout out.
I think it was
Does that
a week.
count?
I think it was like a week.
It was a day.
No, it was a
one
day.
day.
It was one day. No,
One day, and then he went to New England.
Or was it?
It's fucking terrible.
Oh, there
But-
you go with your changing in the same division.
He came to the Patriots, right? His first year with the Patriots, 2000. What record did he bring them to?
What is
Anybody know?
No,
what is it?
5-11.
Yeah.
With
Who's that
Drew
quarterback?
Bledsoe as
Yeah,
quarterback.
Yeah.
Now let's look at Drew Bledsoe. Let's see. His first and only season. Oh, sorry. His first and only full season with Bill Belichick as quarterback. He had his worst season as a full-time starter. One of his lowest rated quarterback years. And went on to lose the first 2 games of the next season before being replaced by who? Tom Brady.
All that tells me is Tom Brady worked better in the Belichick system.
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, but you didn't have what about the Belichick system in the Cleveland Browns? He went
was just getting
6-10, 7-9, 7-9, 5-11.
Yeah, it was
he
early
got
in his
fired.
It's the Cleveland Browns. I'm
also the
surprised
Cleveland
you
Browns.
went
I'm not
11
gonna
and
lie.
5.
I'm not gonna say that he hasn't gotten better with time, but I think you have to give Brady credit for taking this team and bringing it to another
I'm giving
level.
Brady credit, but I don't think he's. Like I said, he could be the GOAT. Yeah,
I'm just
it
not
could
giving him
could be
it
argued the
outright.
other way.
What?
I'm not giving it to him outright.
Not yet.
I mean, what else does he need to do? The man has won more Super Bowls than anybody else. The man, by himself, has more Super Bowl rings than 31 NFL franchises.
And SpongeBob has more Super Bowl appearances than the Detroit Lions. It doesn't mean that much.
Jesus Christ.
So are you?
You know what? I'll put fucking SpongeBob on the same level as Tom Brady. I'll do it. All right? You want to fucking go there?
SpongeBob's the GOAT. SpongeBob's the GOAT.
SpongeBob's the... I think in the end, I think that's our answer. SpongeBob is the GOAT.
Okay,
I'm all right
but-
with that. I'm all right with that. We can end on that.
You want to end on
We
that?
can end on that.
Because I
That's
have a
fine.
little more. I have a little more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I'll let you go with that.
Okay, so
I'll let you not end this on a civil note.
no, we got to keep
more shit
going
up.
because you're saying Brady's the GOAT, and while I can agree,
You
want
won't.
to. I'm not going to. I'm going to disagree. Peyton Manning is better than Tom Brady, and here's a little bit of a reason why.
Go ahead.
Look at the defenses that Belichick has had to work with, and the defenses that Peyton had to work with, and Peyton's coaches. The same team that Peyton won 14 games with, then next year went 2-14.
I'm okay. So I won't doubt that Peyton had 2 great seasons at the very end of his career.
Yes.
But his defense wasn't that great in Indianapolis. It had its players, and there were certain periods of time where you had strong defenses.
Yeah.
But, I mean, not that great. I'm saying Peyton's a great quarterback.
Exactly my point.
Yeah. And I'm saying that the Patriots haven't had a great defense to support them.
Have they not? Really?
No, they haven't.
Look at the Look at the success that they've had on defense.
Name 3 stars on that defense.
Patrick Chung, Donta Hightower, and what's his face?
If you name one of the McCourtys, I don't count that. I don't think McCourty's a star.
Both. Which one's the one that got traded from the Browns?
They're the same person at this point.
Well, the one that was already there.
McCourty A and
Devin
McCourty
or
B.
Jason?
I don't
That's
remember. I don't
what
know
he's
which
saying.
one.
He
Okay,
can't
well,
remember.
one of
Yeah.
Well, the
So
one that
you-
was already there was really good. The one
Jason.
on the Browns was,
Devin.
and then when he came over to the Patriots, got better.
So I think what we're coming to a conclusion is the Belichick system makes everyone better.
Exactly. Exactly.
No,
Look. Okay. Aside from Brady, look at LeGarrette Blount. When he was with the Patriots, star, left, got or didn't play or whatever, then came back and then won a ring.
I don't know. I don't think that team has the success it has.
Without Brady,
Without Brady.
I'll accept
Yeah,
that.
I can accept
No, I'll
that.
accept that. He's a Hall of Fame, one of the best, but I'm not going to outright give him that
But I
he
give
is the
Peyton
GOAT.
the edge.
I have to give.
He's up there in the conversation.
I
but I'm
gotta
not
give
gonna just
credit
give it to him.
to some hardware, man. If we don't use that to judge greatness, then what's the point of handing it out?
I have an
Are we
argument
going to go
for
into
that.
the hardware conversation?
Because you can go Bill Russell with...
Yeah, let's go
10
into the hardware.
or
No,
11
no, no,
or
no, no,
whatever.
no, no, no. We're talking about football. I'm talking about football. I'm not talking about other sports. Other
But
sports.
you were just saying hardware.
Well, no, because we're measuring Peyton against Brady.
Okay, Peyton's got 2.
Yeah. Okay.
And Brady's got 6.
Yeah.
Brady also had good defenses.
So are we
Peyton
saying
didn't.
Charles Hayes is the second best player in football all time?
How many does Charles Hay have?
5. He was the only
5.
one tied with Brady.
All right, you got me there. You got
And
me
the
on
only
that.
and if I didn't ever see that as a stat, I would never have known who Charles Hayes
I didn't even
was.
know.
And I'm sorry if he is actually like an amazing player, but obviously,
We're gonna get so much hate mail from the Charles Hayes fan club.
yeah, but like obviously he can't be that good if the only time his name comes up is because he was tied with Brady with 5 Super Bowls.
there is a little bit of right place, right time. But you're being a little facetious.
No.
He earned those 6 rings.
He did.
You know,
But
and
look-
Manning was active for many seasons, and he still only came away with 2. At the very end of his career, he got 1 of the 2.
And that one was all defense. I'm not gonna.
That one was all defense, but...
So
Okay, but that's the
He's
point
the
I'm
one-
trying to make. Peyton didn't have that defense throughout his whole career.
He's the one saying Manning is like.
I
some
think
better
Peyton has
receiver.
the
Manning,
edge.
yeah.
I'm not.
You're
using
just saying
that
Belichick
example.
is the reason why he's where he's at.
I don't want to say he's the reason, but I just don't. I think he's definitely part of the product.
He's a strong contributing factor.
No, I get
I
it.
think like you asked before, if Brady's on another team, do we see the same thing? I'm not going to say no, but
You're not going to say yes.
I'm not going to say
Thanks
yes.
for the solid answers there, Nick.
I'm not going to say yes.
I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes.
He's not one of the most physically skilled quarterbacks.
Are we going to say top 3?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
I'll say top 2.
Oh, okay.
I'll give him top 3.
Top 3? Okay.
I'll give him
I
top
think
3.
that's a good place.
I'm
would
just
give
not
him
gonna,
I
top
think
2.
he's number 1. You think he's somewhere 1 to 3. Or
Yeah.
2 to 3.
and I could say, I'll give you that he's in the conversation. I'm just I'm not going like outright Tom Brady's the GOAT. That's it.
Okay.
He might have to win 3 more for me to be convinced.
All right, let's
Kidding.
on that note.
So, sort of going back to what we were talking about earlier in the podcast, there was a piece published on Bleacher Report about some of the biggest rule changes the NFL should be making this offseason.
Okay.
And we're just going to go through them and sort of sound off on what we think about them and whether it's something that we should consider or if it's just somebody who's whining about the NFL and thinks that this should change because they're complaining about it. Sorry, Bleacher Report. First one: adopt defensive pass interference. Defensive pass interference. AKA, what this means is that it's not a spot foul anymore. It's just 15 yards.
Hard pass.
Hard no.
Why?
I'll give it. I kind of understand the reasoning behind it, but I feel like 15 yards is too little. If someone's throwing a Hail Mary down the field, and I could just pull the guy down, and the offense is only getting 15 yards for it, I'm abuse that advantage.
True. That's very true.
If you want to, at worst, I'll give them half distance. At worst.
Okay.
I completely agree with Nick.
No, that's a valid concern. I'm not gonna lie. When I looked at this one, I was like, but that's a good point. That's a good point.
Because,
in
like-
the collegiate, there's a lot less Hail Marys to win the game, kind of thing.
But like we've talked about before, PI calls can change games.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
And we've seen them change games. Or blown PI calls.
Hashtag blew that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Still salty.
Next one. Dump the ludicrous fumble into the end zone rule. I'm going to start. I love that rule. I absolutely love that rule.
The rule as it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. For those of you who aren't clear, the current rule in the NFL is that if the ball is fumbled into the end zone, it's a safety on your team, and the ball goes to the opposite team.
So they're talking completely
Axe
86. Okay.
They're talking. They had one or two different proposals for what it could be. I think one of them was give the opposite. It's still a turnover.
Yeah.
The defense gets the ball, but it's at like the 1 yard line. So in the reason given...
Sorry, it's not a safety, it's a touchback.
Yeah, touchback.
Yeah.
But the reason given for why the 1 yard line is so, let's say it's close enough to the end of the half or a game where the other team could then just kneel the ball out. Now you're at the 1 and you got to find a way to get out. Which I like that.
I like it.
Aspect, but at the same time, I just made... Normally it's like I made a defensive play, I made them fumble. I'm almost getting... I understand we're getting the ball, but I'm almost being penalized for it by you're putting us at the 1. Yeah. There's a chance we're about to give up 2 points and give them the ball back.
So maybe not a touchback, maybe the 10-yard line.
Well, it's still a touchback,
but
maybe not the 20, but the 10.
You're getting into semantics.
Yeah.
But I'm a Jets fan, right? And I was one of the worst affected by this last season when... Safarian Jenkins lost a fumble in the touchdown against the Patriots, which, hey, maybe we could have won the game. We would have had another score. We would have been 1 touchdown away, a lot of momentum. But that's besides the point. I still agree with the rule because I like the idea of fumbling is one thing. Fumbling in the touchdown is another thing. I think that there should be a heavier punishment doled out for it.
I see what you mean, but I don't know. I feel like it's something...
we also have the rule where if you catch the ball on a kickoff outside the touchdown and then run out the back of the end zone or touch the sideline of the end zone, that's a safety.
Yeah. I say they could get rid of it. Or if they're going to change it in a way to where, like Nick said...
Change it to the 10.
Yeah, I think
the 10 would be great.
Yeah, it's not terrible as it is. But I feel like maybe there could be somewhat of an adjustment to it.
Like I think the 1 yard line is too close, and then a touchback is too far. So you got to find some middle ground, not to give the not to give the other team too much of an advantage, and not to penalize them so much as to where they're like, hey, what the fuck,
Okay. This next one takes notes from the world-renowned AAF.
Oh, Lordy.
Just get rid of the kickoff already.
No. Hard no.
Why?
I'm completely against it. It takes away the integrity of the game. I love kickoff returns. I love the big hits. I love it. I
mean, at this point, we don't really see too many big hits on kickoffs.
No, not anymore.
There's no more run-up on the kickoff, which means, at this point, onside kicks are obsolete.
And
We've seen that, though.
How often, at this point, the percentage... I don't know the exact stats, but the percentage has dropped greatly on onside kick completion since they've changed that ruling of the offense has that 5-yard run up.
But I have to give the NFL credit. That was a creative way to reduce injuries on the kickoff.
Definitely.
It was a very creative way. I remember when I first saw that, I was like, oh, that's a good way to reduce the collision speed and all that.
Especially on onside kicks when you're going to have impact much sooner in the hard impact sooner in the play. It makes the whole concept of the onside kick a little more it's...
I mean, kickoffs in general are inherently dangerous.
Yeah.
You're just standing there waiting for the ball while, a group of men are rushing full speed at you from 50 yards away. It's going to lead to injuries.
It's a recipe for disaster.
I don't hate it the way they've changed it to now.
I'm okay with the current change. I don't think you're going to get rid of it.
If they keep it as is, it's fine.
It's fine.
If they make any more little changes to it, at that point, I think it's going to get obsolete enough to just get rid of the whole thing.
It's going to get tossed.
When they moved it from the 20 to the 25, I was a little apprehensive to that.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a big deal. They got rid of running. I'm okay with that. But I don't want to lose the essence. The return man is positioned. If you're not going to give him a chance to actually return the ball, then just get rid of kickoffs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's a glorified basket.
Yeah.
Just wave the old
exactly.
catch, and that's it.
All right, the last one is allow coaches to challenge everything. Now, to clarify, he's not saying to allow unlimited challenges, but instead to allow coaches to challenge every facet of the game, a.k.a. the Andy Reid rule, because I don't know who the hell he talks to. That man challenges everything. I don't know why he's above the rules, but I swear to God, I've seen games where he challenges holding calls.
It's the mustache.
It's the mustache.
It's the mustache. Yep, the mustache wins all arguments.
But what do you think? He's still saying keep 2, but instead of only being able to challenge spots or catches or fumbles, you get to challenge penalties and things like that.
I think there's 2 ways this could be taken. I think one way is, if you want to do this, it's fine in the sense that the amount of challenges are still the same. So you're going to see teams using up their challenges more often, which might take away a little bit of time and whatever from the game. But it's still not like they could challenge like 5-10 times a game.
Yeah.
Well, 5 would be the max, right? You get 2 if you get 4 or 5, whatever it is. I'm losing track of challenges at the moment. But you know what I mean.
I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that there have been many moments where you're like, oh, challenge that, and then only to hear Mike Pereira tell you, you actually can't challenge that.
Yeah.
That is a refs only call. So,
that is the GOAT.
Yeah. I think
he's actually a consultant for the AAF.
Is he really?
He is.
Interesting. But I do think that rule could help. Case in point, that offsides call in Chiefs-Pats. That when you look back, he was close, but I don't think he was.
But
offsides.
it looked like he was right across the blue line that the TV screen put up.
Did it?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It kind of looked like it. When they showed it, it did. But I've seen other angles since then that have kind of disproved it.
Yeah.
In the end,
that was the game.
In the end, it's a challenge, though, so it has to be completely, 100%.
Yeah, don't change the standard.
Yeah, the standard of it's still going to be the same.
Yeah.
The other way to take it is you change the review rules. Instead of making everything challengeable,
make everything reviewable.
What would be challenged?
Well, no, more just what could be reviewable, to say, from the booth standpoint.
Oh, like how they changed it that every turnover is automatically reviewed.
Yeah, and not to say obviously automatically, because then the game's going to be
6 hours long.
Yeah.
I think that's what people are afraid of. Like with a rule like this, I think you'd be afraid that someone challenges a pass interference or someone challenges a holding call, and we spend 10 minutes just looking at replays or staring at a coach looking off into the distance or the jumbotron, or looking at a referee staring into a little black box on the sideline.
But you think they could change it with time constraints, as in you can only challenge these things 5 minutes left in each quarter?
That's interesting.
Okay, that's not a bad take.
So instead of in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter for whatever.
So you allow them to challenge anything, but you bring up the amount of time that they have. That's not bad.
Like normal challenge rules for
everything stays the same except you have a time.
Because you can't challenge anything after 2 minutes.
Penalties can only be challenged within.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you have that window, the last 5 minutes
of each quarter.
Okay. Of each quarter,
or even if it's of the half and final or something like that. Yeah.
Well, if only there was a sky ref.
Oh, there we go. Then we'd get it done much. There is the real change that needs to be made. Sky ref. So let's see how the AAF does it.
Yeah, no, we'll see. So we're going to shift gears. We're still going to be talking about rule changes, but instead of NFL, these are actually proposed baseball rule changes. Just a side note, we're going to be talking about 2 of them that have been proposed. If no agreement is made based on the current collective bargaining agreement, Commissioner Manfred would have the power to implement 3 of his proposals from last year. These include the 20-second pitch clock, decreasing the mound visits from 6 to 5, and a rule that would put a runner on second base in the 11th inning in the All-Star game and spring training. But those are only if no agreement is made. The 2 currently spoken about rules are 3-hitter minimum for pitches and a universal DH. That's the most popular one, obviously. So Dylan here is our resident baseball player. So what's your take on this?
I'm going to go hard no on all of them. And here's why. Universal DH, I hate it. I was almost on board with the American League having pitchers bat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I like one league has the DH, one doesn't. That's the way it's been
too.
Since we were toddlers.
Yep.
And
that's the way it's been
forever.
Yeah.
I think that's the way it should stay. If by some chance pitchers get injured more frequently due to them batting, like DeGrom did last year, then I can see why. But it was a freak accident. He swung the bat. He's not used to swinging the bat. He's on a National League team. He should be. He messed up his elbow for a week or two. Okay, fine. I don't think universal DH is needed at all. I think you leave the National League the same, you leave the American League the same, and when you play interleague, one's got a DH, or whenever they play in the American League.
The way it is.
Yeah. Leave it.
So, Nick, what's your
I used to
take
agree with
on
that.
What's your take on the 3-batter one?
Oh, the 3-batter one. So 3-batter minimum for each pitcher?
Yeah, so no
what it is,
loogies.
right? So no, yeah. So this whole... I think it would change the strategy of things, like how you have lefty specialists, like that kind of gets thrown out now.
Is this for relievers coming in?
Yes.
This is for, technically for...
Technically, it's for anyone. So, yeah, you have the teams who are trying out the starter.
Yeah, you got like the
Or
Rays.
the opener.
Yeah, the opener.
I like the opener. At first, I didn't like it, but
They could,
I kind of
You come around?
Yeah, I adjusted a little bit.
they could still do it. It's just that guy's going to have to pitch to at least 3 batters. It's not 3 outs or 3 batters.
It's 3
no
batters.
matter what the outcome.
Yep.
So,
Pitcher can pitch to no less than 3 batters.
But see, with the opener, I would agree. Okay, he's got to at least face 3 batters because that's an innings.
I
worth.
agree.
But with the reliever, why?
If you got a pen for it, man.
Exactly.
1-on-1.
Like if you have, okay, I hate to boast, but the Yankees pen. If you have that firepower, why not use it?
I can't doubt you.
Why not use it?
good
You have all those assets, all those arms. Throw the whole kitchen sink out there if you need to.
as much as I think it would be interesting and strategy wise, and you'd have to see more of these pitchers actually pitch, even to say against their like strengths, like if they're a lefty specialist, whatever, and offenses maybe change the lineup a little bit so that way they can't, like, not too many lefties one after the other, because then the specialist comes in during those times. I kind of agree with you. Yeah. It's you have the pen there, you set it up a certain way, and also like you're trying to make the game quicker with the whole pitch clock thing and everything. So I do understand why they want to do this, but at the same time, I don't think it's the way to go.
I don't think so either. And segueing with what you said about the pitch clock, I don't agree with that either. I think baseball is a game meant to be played out. It's supposed to take a while. There's 9 innings for a reason. There's 162 games for a reason. And your playoff series aren't just 1 games. They're
you
series.
can make the argument that because there's so many games in a season, not every game needs to be forever. I mean, if you look at the last few seasons, 2, I believe, of the last 3 seasons have been on record as having the longest average games in MLB history.
See, but true baseball fans appreciate that. They love it. I know when I watch a game, I love when it goes to extra innings.
Oh, I agree.
I love it.
I'm in the same boat there. But I see why you would want these things. You know, I think also from a energy conservation perspective, you know, when you have these games that go 18, 19 innings, which there have been a lot of them recently, you know, that's not good for the players. It's where it leads to injuries and exhaustion.
Yeah, but on the flip side, you know, what is it, the pitch clock? That could lead to more pitching injuries because you're speeding the guy up and he's not used to pitching that quickly and throwing that many pitches in succession, whatever. I mean, they should be used to it because they're Major League ball players. There's that narrative. You can't give a guy 20 seconds to throw a pitch and then throw another pitch. And then, like, 20 seconds in between is too much. What if you have a guy like...
20 seconds is too long?
No, too little, sorry.
Okay.
Like Chapman. Throws 103 miles an hour. You're going to give him 20 seconds to recoup?
Yes.
And then throw 103 again? He's going to blow his shoulder, his arm, his knee, everything out.
Well,
you have him come in, pitch 3 pitches, 3 batters. No, I mean, I guess. I mean, I see... So, just kind of, I guess, to play devil's advocate, you know, I can see that obviously baseball, unfortunately, is falling off as far as popularity is concerned. Yeah. And a lot of that is due to the other sports being a lot more faster paced and being a lot more bite-sized and easier to handle on a day. Baseball is a day-long event. I mean, you start in the afternoon and you end in the evening. Or you start in the evening and you end in the morning. So I can see them wanting to speed up the pace, adding that runner during extra innings sort of to help that speed up a little bit, adding the pitch clock. But I understand the pitch mount. The mound visits thing I'm not hugely against. I don't even see the teams make it to 5 or 6 sometimes.
They already shrunk it down.
Yeah, they brought it down to
once.
6, and then now they want to bring it down again to 5.
I should just leave it at 6.
That's fine. I mean, I could go either way on that one. As far as the unit of DH, I agree. I like the uniqueness between the leagues. It adds a difference because other than that, what do we have? That's the biggest difference between AL and NL is pitching batters and non-pitching batters.
I used to feel the same way about that. But as I thought about it more and more, you don't really see that in other sports. Not to say that's a bad thing.
No, you don't.
But I'm not to say against it anymore. Okay. I used to be the same, I like the uniqueness, all that. And some pitchers can hit. But I wouldn't be against if they put it in. Obviously, though, if they do, it has to be next 2020 season. Because these National League teams aren't prepared to have a DH. Their roster isn't set up that way.
Yeah.
So if it does happen, it can't happen this year.
Okay. So we'll move on here. Staying in baseball, but two of the biggest free agents are still on the market. And it is prime hot stove time. Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. Why aren't they signed? And if they do get signed, where are they signing? What are your guys' takes?
In the very beginning of the offseason, I said Bryce was going to be a Cub and Manny was going to be a Philly. Bryce isn't going to be a Cub, but Manny might be a Philly. Manny might be a Philly.
Manny could definitely be a Philly.
There's pros and cons to both, the sides here of them not being signed. The pro would be, they're asking for way too much money and teams don't want to spend that much money. And they're just kind of waiting it out. So they'll lessen their asking price and they could sign for cheap. Like we were talking about before, the Phillies could end up getting both.
Yeah.
There's also the whole attitude issues with both of them that have come up.
Yeah.
Apathy is certainly something that's been brought up in both of their sentences.
Personally, I believe is a little worse on the Machado side recently than the Harper side.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm against the Yankees signing him, aside from the humongous contract. Mm-hmm. You can't go out in an interview or a post-game interview, whatever it was, and say, I don't like to hustle. And then in your next game, you go and hit a ball in the gap, and it should be a double. But you thought it was a home run, and you get a single. I'm sorry. I don't care how good you are. I just want to,
for the listeners out there, the face that Dylan has on while he's describing this is just pure disgust.
I'm sorry, but I don't care how good you are.
I mean, honestly, even with, to say the Mets, I'd have no problem with Harper coming.
Oh, no. I honestly, as a Mets fan, I would take either one.
Yeah.
I've learned to not care about attitude.
No. I'm not going to say attitude.
We have guys who ride horses into spring trading, so...
Yeah, he's a whole nother story.
That's a whole other issue. Yeah, I'm not going to count attitude towards, against much.
Well, this is my thing. My thing is that if managerial or front offices ever decided to say, hey, we're not going to pay you hundreds of millions of dollars anymore because you had a good few seasons. We're going to pay you for what we think we can get out of you. This is what it would look like. Mm-hmm. It would look like big free agents being stuck out on the market with old mentalities and front offices just saying, hey, look, there's a cheaper alternative. Yeah, he's a little more injury prone, but I'm going to take him. And I think that's where we're sort of at. I could be wrong. I could be that they're just hoping that the asking prices go down, and if it doesn't, one of them is going to pay through the nose for him. But I think this is the front office is saying, hey, it's not exactly Moneyball, but if I can get somebody for cheaper, on a shorter contract, why not?
I think that's what they're hoping for, though.
So, where exactly do you think each of them will end up?
I think Harper's a Philly. I think Machado might end up White Sox.
What about you, Joe?
I have mixed feelings. Harper's hard to gauge. They haven't really... Everything's been on Manny. Manny this, Manny that. Where's Manny going? They signed Yonder Alonso and John Jay in Chicago. They signed this player development guy in Chicago that worked with Manny. The Phillies signed the infield coach that worked with Manny in Baltimore however many years ago. Everyone's trying to pull Manny, and no one's focusing on Harper.
Harper doesn't fall for those cheap tricks.
I think Harper is going to be like the surprise signing, so to speak. He's going to get the bigger deal. He's going to get the longer deal. And I think he goes to Philly.
Okay.
Manny, I have no idea. The media is construing it so many different ways. They're saying, oh, he can still end up a Yankee. He's going to be a White Sox. Oh, he's going to join Bryce in Philly. At this rate, he's never going to sign. He's going to end up a Dodger. He's going to end up a Dodger again for 3 years with an option after the second. And he's going to test free agency again, which I think if this lasts any longer, because spring training starts in a week.
Yep.
They might do that.
Yeah,
they might take a 5-year deal
definitely.
with an option after 3 for a lot less money, so to speak, because you're still making a buttload of money.
That's what they should be going for in the first place.
Yeah,
I agree.
But even to say 5-year deal at this point, if it keeps up, do you even see 1-year deals out of each of them and redoing this all
what
again
do they call
next
it?
year?
Prove it deals?
Yeah.
Manny Machado signs a prove it deal with the Dodgers?
Yeah,
But see,
1-year deals. In the end, Harper's going to the Phillies. And
Harper's going to Philly.
Machado's going to go play with the brother-in-law and the cousin.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
It's a family reunion
Chicago.
in Chicago. You had the city right, but you had the wrong team. Not Chicago, but not the Cubs.
I said the Cubs? Oh, sorry. The White Sox. Yeah, but no. On the other side, we hashed out all the cons.
Yeah.
The pros to signing these guys now.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're generational talents.
Yep.
They're unbelievably good at what they do.
When they hustle.
Yes. Aside from the hustle.
I mean,
or
you guys have
lack
win
thereof.
above replacement of both above 6, I believe.
What?
Both above 6 WAR.
I don't know.
I think they're both above 6 wins above replacement.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Good for them.
But they're 26 years old.
You're talking about adding 6 wins to a team, which sometimes can be the difference between a wild card and a division.
Yeah. So, they're 26. Just adding one of them to your team can drastically change the outcome of, like Alex just said, 6 wins. Can drastically change the outcome of a season. Now adding 2, that's 12 wins. So, like the Phillies, they didn't make the playoffs last year. You put both of them on the Phillies, that's 12 more wins.
If the Phillies get both of them,
they're taking the division.
They're taking the division.
I think they might take the World Series.
Maybe. That's a very real possibility.
At this point, with or without one of them, that division I'll give to the Braves. But, yeah.
That's tough. I like the Braves, too.
The Braves are that young team.
It is a young team, but...
That young team is
young team is scary. Acuna and Albies...
It is. No, I can't say that it's not, but like...
Especially, you know what?
It's a tough
Harper's
division.
great. Last year was not his best year.
No, it wasn't. And like we said, you could maybe attribute that a little bit to apathy.
Yeah, and I like Harper as a player and everything. I like him. I think he's going to bounce back from it. But like, the deals, it's again, the deals they're looking for and the type of play, it's not... Let's see if they even go anywhere.
No, yeah.
Let's see if they go anywhere. Those 1-year deals might...
They're gonna get
put it
signed.
this way, I don't think they're pulling a Le'Veon Bell anytime soon.
No.
They're gonna sign somewhere. I believe they'll sign for significantly less money than they're asking for.
Yeah.
If Bryce knew this would have been the outcome of him saying no to the Nationals' $300 million deal, I think he would have said, "Give me that."
Nah, I think you still know.
I'll take it.
I think you still know.
But I don't think he wanted to be there anymore.
Exactly.
And I don't think they wanted him to be there anymore.
Ooh, that's a bold statement.
they wanted to offer him that big deal because they didn't want anybody else to have him. When you treat a guy the way, not treat a guy the way he was treated per se, but like he wasn't treated greatly in his last 2 years. Granted, he did not treat them greatly either.
Yeah.
As a man, there's some kind of professionalism there that you just have to sack up, go out there, do your job, and not be a crybaby and be like, I don't want to be here. I'm not going to try as hard. Yeah, because I think that's what he did.
No, I got you.
There was a bit of, I don't want to be here. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to hustle as hard. Meanwhile, Manny goes and says straight up, I don't hustle. And he plays 160 games in the year. So that's contradictory in itself.
Well, so that kind of feeds into maybe why this is such a different offseason.
Yeah.
You know, I think the real question we all want to answer is what's the show 19 cover going to look like? Right? Exactly. So we're going to move on. MLB offseason, we kind of focused on Bryce and Manny, but there were a lot of other moves made by teams trying to contend now or trying to contend later. I'm just going to go through the trades and then the signings, and I want a fast take. I want a good, bad, maybe why.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
The Reds acquire Sonny Gray from the Yankees for second baseman Shed Long and a compensatory draft pick. As part of the deal, Gray signed an extension with the Reds. The Yankees then flipped Long to the Mariners for Josh Stowers and a second-round pick.
Love it.
Nick?
Love it, especially from the Reds' standpoint. You see all the other moves they're making, and second base-wise, they have young Nick Senzel. They're fine. Yep. I think that was an amazing deal.
And they have Scooter.
Yep. And they have for right now, yeah. Great. Senzel, if anything's going to be going to fight for an outfield spot at the moment, not even second base. But yeah.
But at the same token, moving Gray out of New York, I think, was his best.
Yeah.
The best for him.
Yeah. It was one of those few moments of a guy who really just can't handle the limelight.
And I didn't think he couldn't handle it. He just had a bad year.
I mean, he just seemed like a guy who did better in small-town places.
Yeah.
All
Oakland, he did well. So
next one to the bottom of the barrel, Reds. Okay.
We're still talking to the Reds here. Dodgers sent starting pitcher Alex Wood, Yasiel Puig, and Matt Kemp to the Cincinnati Reds. Kyle Farmer and $7 million were also sent to the Reds. In return, the Dodgers took Homer Bailey, bloated contract, subsequently released, and acquired two right-hand prospects in Jeter Downs and Josiah Gray.
I like it. I like it and I don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
Because I love Puig, and I think Kemp revitalized his career last year with LA, and I think that's where he belongs. Alex Wood was really good, but he'll, again, what Nick said with the Reds and what they're doing, they're building so much in this short time that they're going to be good. Maybe not next year, or this season coming up, maybe a couple years down the road.
There's a new manager there too, right?
Is there? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
They hired somebody new recently.
We'll have to check.
All I know is this Reds team, they make moves.
Yeah, they're making moves.
You want to look at any team making moves right now, this Reds
They've
team.
low-key made a lot, like the most.
I mean, let's put it this way, too. This Reds team was literally bottom of the barrel.
No, they were trash.
Bottom of the barrel team right there.
They were.
Yeah.
All right, another big one. St. Louis Cardinals acquire first baseman Paul Goldschmidt from the Arizona Diamondbacks for right-handed starting pitcher Luke Weaver, catcher Carson Kelly, infielder Andy Young, and a round B compensation pick in the 2019 draft.
This shocked me a little.
It did. Although I think the writing was on the wall for Goldschmidt. I thought he was going to be packaged with Greinke wherever he went.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that didn't happen.
But I don't know why why.
You know what it is? Next year he's a free agent. They wanted to get some type of return for him because he was gone once next year hit.
I think also Greinke is a huge contract.
Yes.
And I thought the only way they're going to be able to unload him was with Goldschmidt.
That's why I
Both
feel
their
like
contracts are big.
Yeah. This wasn't a great
But Goldschmidt's
move.
on the way out. Greinke's still got several years left on the
Yeah.
deal.
This wasn't a great move, but they were trying to get whatever they could maximize the return
at this point.
Yeah.
You know, he's a solid player every year.
On without anything.
Yeah.
They got a full train of prospects here. I don't know how good any of them are.
I'd say it was an amazing move, but it was a smart move for the moment.
Financially, and
I have a question off of that one, though.
Go.
Where do you think Goldschmidt goes after?
I don't know. I think you have to look at the market next year.
And I think it has to do with how they play this year. Because the Cardinals
I
are
think
never
the Cardinals
bad.
have a legitimate shot at keeping him.
Yeah,
if
they're
they play
depending
well.
how
Yeah.
he plays and they play.
Like, they're never a bad team.
Yeah. Well,
But
this
he
is
could
the
go
thing.
somewhere
Maybe
else.
they're a team that just needed a weapon, and Goldschmidt definitely, I would say, qualifies.
300 hitter every year.
Yeah.
I think he's maybe qualified as a weapon.
A little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
30-something homers a year.
So this next one's close to my heart, obviously.
Woo!
Second baseman Robinson Cano and closer Edwin Diaz head to the Mets for Jay Bruce, Anthony Swarzak, and prospects Jarrett Kelenic, Justin Dunn, and Gerson Batista. Seattle even sweetened the deal by offering $20 million of Cano's contract.
I'll let you guys go first.
I think it's a good deal. Brody obviously is taking the mentality of win now, and as a Mets fan who has been through the ringer, I think it's good. I honestly, look, prospects are prospects. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. And these guys, while have high ceilings and high potential, are very early in their prospect career.
Mm-hmm.
They could go good or they could go bad still at this
Out of
point.
all of them, especially Kelenic might be the one that, when you see the name, he's the newest out of all of
Exactly.
them.
We drafted him
But
last year. I remember drafting
he's the
him.
highest, to say, expectations.
Yes.
So many people, that was one of the bigger issues.
Yep.
But again, it's going to be hit or miss. And in this deal, the Mets got their best bat.
Yeah.
Robinson Cano is now the best player on the New York Mets.
I can say
From the strictly hitting standpoint, he's going to fill in a role that they desperately needed.
Yeah.
And
I think Diaz was a big part. I think
Diaz is
Diaz
a beast.
honestly was the real selling point of the deal.
Diaz is a beast.
Yeah. All right, now go ahead and tear us down, Dylan.
All right,
I know
well,
that's what
I'm
you're
not going
gonna
to tear you guys down.
I miss Robinson Cano.
No, I don't. I don't miss Robinson Cano. I do like the deal for the Mets, and I love it simply because the Yankees didn't get him back. I thought the Yankees were going to pick him back up again, and I was very upset because that would have torn apart the whole core that they built. But anyway, like you guys said...
J.L. Mayhew?
Yeah. Anyway, like you guys said, Diaz was the target there. He's a great piece. Great closing pitcher. Proven time and time again. Something that the Mets desperately needed after, going through the bullpen struggles with Familia and Ramos and Swarzak last year. I forget who else they got that was closing for them last year at the end of the year. But Diaz is going to solidify that pen. They also got Familia back.
Yep. I think that's a big deal.
That is a huge deal because he's a fan favorite. He's pitched in that park before, in the playoffs, under pressure, and done well.
He's not a bad pitcher. He's just a guy, if we don't have to have him in the ninth, fine.
Exactly. I
Great
think he
stuff.
struggled more in the ninth.
We played him a lot when he shouldn't have
Yeah,
played.
exactly.
We meaning, obviously, the Mets.
The Mets,
and
yeah.
the Mets fans, so it's a we.
No, yeah. No, don't even get me started. That's another. We can discuss that another day. All the people who say that you can't say we as a fan, you don't actually play.
Bullshit.
Yeah. But we'll talk about that later.
I am emotionally invested.
Okay, so the other half of the deal, Cano. One of the greatest bats I've ever, natural bats I've ever seen in the MLB. Fluid swing. It's effortless. His talent is immeasurable. He's great. The only issue I have here is what they did after. They went and signed Jed Lowry, and you have Jeff McNeil, right? So now you have Rosario, Frazier, McNeil, Cano, Lowry, Dom Smith at first base. He's
Garbage.
yes,
And I wouldn't put him there.
yeah. He's a platoon player in left field when Conforto goes down with a stub toe and Nimmo's out because he's tired because he sprints to first base after a walk.
The opposite of Manny Machado.
Yes. So my deal is here. Where are you going to put Cano? Are you going to play him at second?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
I wouldn't.
nowhere else to play him.
I wouldn't play him at second.
Where are
base.
you playing
Where are you going to put him? DH?
I was about
No,
to say that.
we don't have that DH. We don't have that DH. But look what Seattle did when he came back from the injury and from the suspension. He went to third, played fine. Could play first, whatever. As long as his bat's in the lineup, I don't think you take McNeil out of the spot that he earned
But McNeil's
and put him on the map.
McNeil's a utility player. He could literally play any position. Why are
And
we
you
going?
say he played the second half of the season. I'm not saying he didn't play it well, but he played his first year. He played well.
He played above expectations.
He played
And
above
he's
expectations,
a
but I still
utility
don't think
player. He
he
could play
did
anywhere.
enough to
Why are
bump
we
a guy
gonna-
like Cano.
Why are we going to move Cano out of his normal position to take up a position where we already have multiple players that play?
So who are you going to put at third? Who would you put at third?
Who would I put?
I think Frazier's current.
In the end, Frazier's going to play third.
I don't think so. I think you move Frazier to first base and you put Lowry at third.
Yes. No. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think get Dom
Because
Smith.
you can't sit Lowry. That guy's unreal.
Well, but then again, if you move Cano over to third, Frazier to first, and then McNeil at second, then Lowry's out.
You could also put him in the outfield.
McNeil, you can.
But that's
too.
what they're gonna do. They're gonna put McNeil in center and put Conforto in the corners.
Yeah. No. I think you would put Nimmo in center because Nimmo can play center, but he's not a plus player in center field.
Conforto's a decent from what he's shown from
he's
playing.
An okay center fielder.
He's a decent center.
He's
fielder.
a left fielder.
Okay, but
it's not his strong position, but
who's got
not
the better
bad.
arm between Conforto and Nimmo?
I think Nimmo.
I wouldn't even.
I don't know that exactly.
Are they iffy?
Yeah, they're both. None of them are like elite level.
Because
right. The best arm in the outfield is Cespedes.
Who?
Exactly.
I would have washed my hands at Cespedes a while ago if I was the Mets. If they could find a way.
But he's quote prime trade bait.
Yes, prime.
Yeah, right. No one wants him. That's why he was on 4 different teams in 4 years.
All right, so so that's an analysis of the Mets. We'll get into them a little bit. We'll get into them another week.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to go into signings. I'm just going to roll through. You guys give me a yes, no. If you feel strongly, give me a quick explanation, I guess. Mets sign Jed Lowry.
Love it.
Yes.
Mets sign Wilson Ramos.
Love it.
100%. Yes.
Travis d'Arnaud sucks.
Love that one.
And they also signed Mesoraco to a minor league deal.
Yeah, that was a today thing.
That is a good move.
Yeah. Oh, he's a pitcher's catcher right there.
Yes.
Dodgers signed A.J. Pollock.
Love it.
Love it, especially because they got rid of Puig and Kemp now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think that means the Dodgers are out of the Harper conversation.
I don't. Not necessarily.
I
Who do they got in the outfield? Bellinger, Pollock.
I feel like there's another person.
There's another person, but not.
I'm just drawing a blank, but there's someone.
I don't remember.
Angels signed Cody Allen.
It's a good move.
Solid move. Yeah. Closer move. Astros signed Michael Brantley.
Love it.
Yeah,
and hate it at the same time because, the Astros.
I think that makes them really dangerous.
Brantley's such a
arguably the favorite, I think.
He's
in
such
the
a good
AL.
player.
Yeah.
Rays signed Charlie Morton.
Love that move.
Yeah.
Love that move.
Why?
Charlie Morton revitalized his career in Houston these past 3 years.
Yes.
Because before, he was in Pittsburgh. Charlie Morton comes up in conversation, you go, who? These last 3 years, his stuff is just filthy. He's got great movement on it, all of his pitches, his fastball moves.
But the Rays...
You want to know what
the
I
Rays
think?
needed a good pitcher like that to go along with their now Cy Young winner, Blake Snell.
Okay.
And they're on the up and up.
Not only great move, sleeper pick, winning the East outright.
Ooh, don't say anything. Don't say
outright.
Anything. Don't say anything.
Okay, I'm going to say something. I have to say something.
I had to pull that.
No,
there's a hard no on that one.
I'm sorry. I pulled that one out.
But I also don't think the Yankees win the East outright next year.
That's not what I was expecting here. All right, what's
we'll
the next one?
We'll get back to that later.
Yeah.
We'll get back to it another time. Speaking of the Yankees sign Adam Ottavino.
Love.
Okay,
And
all right.
I think no
Love
matter
it.
what team he went to, that was going to be a love.
No, I think it was a good move.
He's excellent.
Side note, Adam Ottavino from Brooklyn.
Yes, he is.
Brooklyn.
Yes, he is.
There he is. Nats signed Patrick Corbin to a monster deal.
I like it for them, but I don't like it because the deal is too much. He got too much money.
I think the deal. I agree. I think the player is good. The deal itself wasn't.
Looking at you, Manny Machado and Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Interesting. The Phillies signed Andrew McCutchen.
Great move by the Phillies. and
Really?
I'm kind of upset that the Yankees didn't get him back.
That's right. I forgot he was on the Yankees.
But
Right.
you need a guy like that. Like I said, like we were talking about before, that Phillies lineup, if they do add Harper, also has McCutchen now.
Yep.
They'll have Real Muto. They have Michael Franco. They have Odubel Herrera.
Yep.
This Phillies team right now is prepared to win now and in the future.
Who's Andrew
Didn't
McCutchen?
they also get John Segura? I think they traded
from Seattle,
Yeah,
right?
I believe they traded
Who's
for John
Andrew
Segura,
McCutchen?
too. I know, right?
But
He's
they
just that pirate guy.
the one with the dreads, or he had the dreads.
Yeah, no, now
He doesn't even have
he
it.
got rid of the signature.
No, he went to the Yankees, and that's what happened.
Well, no, he got rid of the dreads in Pittsburgh.
The Braves sign Josh Donaldson.
I don't hate it.
We keep talking about how young a team is.
But I don't love
That's
it.
a veteran player.
What?
Yeah.
All right. Josh Donaldson? Who? Like, what happened to Josh Donaldson? That
He had an
just
injury
fallen off?
in Toronto and never.
No,
really
Do you guys remember last
like,
year?
I know what happened, but at the same time,
what happened?
what happened?
Yeah,
He went from MVP caliber to who are you again?
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
sad. It really is.
I loved watching him hit, man. It was unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Well, you hope that he can get
I think
from
Oh,
a
if
guy
he-
perspective.
if
I hope
he-
he can recapture some
If
of that.
he
Yeah.
even brings it back a little bit to what he was, that Braves team's already scary
It is.
enough.
No, it is. That's why this was a low risk, high reward
Oh, 100%.
signing.
was it
That's-
a 1 year deal? You said
I believe it was 1 year deal. Yeah. And finally, the Red Sox re-signed World Series hero Nathan Eovaldi.
Yes.
I don't like.
We're
no,
not.
I don't
not
like
even
it.
an
Not,
Yankee fan.
Yeah, I
No,
know, right?
I don't like
the
it.
Yankee fan doesn't like the Red Sox
not
deal.
because of that. Not because of that. I
He doesn't
don't.
want to talk about the Red Sox deal.
I don't think he can replicate it again.
He's a young guy. I mean, this is a guy in his mid-20s.
I think whether
Yeah.
he does or not, it's
But-
a good deal.
At the same token, he's a young guy that went through 2 Tommy Johns, or
That's
it was
true.
2. It's 2.
That's true. It's two.
So-
It's two. That's true.
It's damn true.
Like half the
Okay, Shaft, calm
we have
down.
we have people now that were drafting getting Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
I know.
At this point, I don't even. I have nothing to say about.
Okay,
the
but that's
Tommy John
one.
thing
That's
anymore.
one surgery. He went through 2.
Max has like 7.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Mets has been all over the place.
Max is also
No,
irrelevant at
but-
this point. But
But he was able to. Well, I think this is one of those deals that we're going to know pretty early on in the season whether or not it was worth it.
I think signing him was worth it, but not for the duration they signed him for. 5 years, right?
I believe it was 5 years.
I don't think that's a sustainable ask.
What are you getting?
Okay.
You're getting what I believe it's 26 or 27 to 31 or 32.
That's a lot of money.
It was-
Over 5 years, that's a lot of money.
I don't think it was terrible.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was.
It was
bad.
okay. Like I said, signing him is good, but for the duration and the money now, no. Because I don't think he can replicate.
No,
I think he'll have a decent year. I don't think he'll do what he did last year. He won't have that nasty Nate year. He'll have like the kind of nasty Nate year, you know?
Kind of.
slightly
Slightly less nasty.
It's more like
slightly
dirty Nate.
disheveled Nate year.
His elbow hurts again, Nate.
All right, so we're going to shift gears from MLB free agency to NBA trade deadline.
Oh, boy.
Now, there was I think the scientific term is metric shit ton of trades today and yesterday, but we're only going to go over the heavy hitters, the ones that sort of make the most headlines and sort of had the biggest impacts on teams that are trying to make a run at the title this year. So, what's your take on Orlando Magic receive Markelle Fultz, Philadelphia 76ers receive Jonathan Simmons, a 2019 second round pick from Cleveland via Orlando, a 2020 first round pick, top 20 protection from OKC. That's the deal. That's the deal.
There's not much you can put on this to spin it.
Phil's over here dying right now.
Oh my god. Markelle Fultz, number 1 pick, biggest bust of all time.
Number 1 pick, and he's the one, he's what?
And that's the bad part of the
Yeah,
trade.
I don't know. I feel like he's the bad part of the deal.
He is. He's terrible.
I mean, in the end, if you think of it like this, though, the Sixers, obviously, yes, you'd think the Sixers definitely did a good job in this deal.
They won big time.
Yeah.
They cut their losses with him, and they freed a bunch of cap space. From Orlando's side, it's You're taking a chance on a number 1 overall pick.
It's low risk, high reward, I think.
It's, I'd say maybe more medium risk
well,
because he has a little bit of a contract there too.
I just don't think he's going to live out to be, number 1 pick material.
No, not even close.
Anthony
but if
Bennett.
they could get an average player out of him, like...
All right, what about this one? Raptors going a little all in on this year. Toronto Raptors receive Marc Gasol. Memphis Grizzlies receive C.J. Miles, Jonas Valanciunas, Dion Wright, and a 2024 second-round pick.
Love this move by the Raptors. That's incredible.
It's a great move by the Raptors. I don't know about
They
the Grizzlies.
robbed the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I don't know
They
if
robbed
I
them
like
blind.
this move from the Grizzlies.
They robbed them blind.
They completely...
Don't get me wrong. I don't know if Mark was really... I don't know if keeping him was going to be a big difference, but I don't know. I feel like this isn't really
keeping
a lot.
them or not. I don't even think it's the big difference. It's the deal itself.
Exactly. That's the thing for me. I don't think that they really got his equivalent value.
Aside from Toronto getting better and their lineup,
This is
now
a great deal for Toronto.
Yeah,
it's a great deal.
If you don't even
they gave a lot of depth
itself,
up. They gave a lot of depth up for this.
But
pick.
if you don't even look at the deal itself and just it's Marc Gasol and what he's going to do for the team, it's great.
Yeah.
Then when you look at the
I mean,
deal,
they're banking on Kawhi. This tells me it's like we have Kawhi.
This is what
our
they're
year.
trying to do. They're trying to keep him.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to add more.
They're also, I think, as much as it's trying to keep him, they're trying to win.
Yeah.
Like, they
No,
have a
that's what I'm
chance.
saying.
Yeah,
Because they're a contender.
Because the thing with Kawhi is you don't know if he's going to stay. You have him this year, make it work.
And honestly, that Eastern side it's a race right there.
It's up for grabs. Definitely.
It's a tight race, but it's a race.
All right, what's the next big one here? Let's go with this one. Dallas Mavericks receive Justin Jackson and Zach Rudolph. Sacramento Kings receive Harrison Barnes. The Harrison Barnes.
Also, good to point out that this happened mid-game.
Yeah.
Mid-game.
Yeah, that's right.
I also saw somewhere that he was told that there was a chance, hey, there's a chance you're going to get traded. Do you want to play? And he said, yeah. So, not too surprising, I guess, when they said it. He kind of knew. But still, it's funny that he was playing and he wasn't really...
That, man.
Yeah.
I think in the end, it's a good deal for the Mavericks. They have the space to take Randolph, and then they just they bought out his contract after that.
Randolph?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they bought him out.
Justin Jackson's a nice young talent. Harrison Barnes had a huge contract that they had to get rid of.
Yeah, they gave him way too much.
Yeah. So I think maybe it's a little... I think both teams actually got a good deal out of it.
That was a good move by the Kings.
I think, it was definitely a good deal by the Kings. They got rid of Randolph's contract. They got Barnes, which he's good. He's more of a veteran player.
Yeah, now...
I thought, though, Justin Jackson was a decent, young talent.
Yes.
Which is why I'm a Mavericks fan, so Mavericks standpoint, I'm honestly happy with this deal. I have no issues with it.
I like De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley over there.
No, the Kings are building a team.
Mm-hmm.
So then you put Barnes in there.
Yeah, give them that veteran.
That's a good mix.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
Fox is one of my favorite players to watch. He's really, really good and way better than Lonzo. Let's put that on record.
No, I want to bring this one up because very rarely do you see 3-team trades actually go through. Cleveland Cavaliers receive Marquise Chris, Brandon Knight, and a 2019 first-round pick lottery protection by Houston. Houston Rockets receive Wade Baldwin, Iman Shumpert, Nick Stakakis, and the Sacramento Kings receive Alec Burks and a second-round pick.
That was Nick Stauskas, right?
What?
Nick Stauskas, you said?
Yes,
okay.
Nick Stauskas.
Where'd Burks go?
Burks went to the Kings.
Another move to the Kings.
Yep.
That's another good player.
The Kings made
moves.
some quiet...
Kings made quite a lot of moves at the deadline.
And they weren't
Their
big name
keeps
guys.
popping up.
The only big name was Barnes. But, again, he's not...
It's not even that big of an...
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the Cavs got a good deal out of this one. I don't think anyone was completely...
Bamboozled?
Yeah. I think the Rockets, if anything, got the worst deal out of it, but...
I think the Kings won
I think Shump is a standard defensive type player now.
Definitely.
Ever since he got traded from New York, he's been
that's what he is. He's become the next Thabo Cephalosha. A guy that you just take really defense.
Tony Allen-esque.
Yes, Tony Allen. Very Tony Allen-esque, too. All right.
Roll it
All right, so we'll hit the big ones now. Philadelphia 76ers received Tobias Harris, Boban I'm going to ruin that name. Marjanovic, thank you. And Mike Scott. And here we go. LA Clippers receive Wilson Chandler, Mike Muscala, Landry Shamet, Mike Muscala, who they traded later, 2020 first-round pick lottery protection, 2021 first-round pick protected from Miami via Philly, 2021 second-round pick from Detroit via Philadelphia, 2023 second-round pick from Detroit via Philadelphia.
Philly just got a whole lot better and worse. Better in the fact that the players that they got are good.
Yes.
Boban is awesome.
Tobias is a solid player.
Tobias is good.
Tobias is a very solid player.
But trading all those picks away could come back and bite you in the ass later.
I mean, they have a nice
They trusted the
team,
process. The process is over now. I think they have a big four. They're going to try and keep, what's his name? Jimmy. Yeah. And so I think they want to keep that four squad together.
He's a nightmare, dude.
You know what it is?
I'm sure. But he's a good player. I mean, he's a good player.
But he's not good in that locker room. That locker room is going to suffer.
I mean, you gotta. Hopefully, you have a guy like what's his name, the center for the 76ers.
Embiid.
Oh, Embiid, yeah.
Hopefully, a guy like him offsets. You know, Embiid's a nice, high character guy.
Nice, but he likes the limelight.
He does. No, he does.
Talking
Embiid
shit.
is a shit talker.
Yeah,
I fucking love it.
I like Embiid, but I don't like Butler.
Butler could be able to. I like Butler, but little by little he's starting to.
I used to love Jimmy. I used to love him, and then when he pulled all this in Minnesota,
yelling
and
at the coach,
and all the little antics, like just shut your mouth. Why do you have to do this? It's unnecessary, and if you're unhappy, do it behind closed doors. Don't do it for the media. Don't put all that.
You mean Rachel Nichols one-on-one isn't personal enough for you? I always love those interviews because they try so hard to make it look like we're just friends. What's going on, Jimmy? Why don't you tell me what's going on? Meanwhile, entire camera crew filling the room that you don't see. It's like there's nothing casual about this.
No. Tell me your deepest, darkest secrets.
Exactly.
It's just you and me.
Yeah.
Are you happy here, Jimmy? Really?
Really?
That chamomile tea you offered me was so nice when I walked in here. Oh my goodness! And so this last one. Not really a deadline trade, but a trade by the deadline.
Nonetheless.
Made some huge waves. Dallas Mavs received Tim Hardaway Jr., Trey Burke, Courtney Lee, and the man known as the Unicorn, Kristaps Porzingis. While the Knicks receive DeAndre Jordan, Wesley Matthews, 2 future first-round picks, and a previous first-round pick, Dennis Smith Jr.
Let's go on record here and say Al and I are Knicks fans.
Yep.
Nick is a Mavericks fan.
Woo! Yeah. So all points covered on this one.
Yeah. So Nick, what do you think? I know you love this deal.
I am in heaven with this deal.
I know.
I like honestly all the players that went to the Mavs. Aside from Porzingis, I even like Hardaway. Honestly, I think is a much bigger part of this deal than
I've always liked Hardaway.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a big part of.
But
the Mavericks
that contract that he had was just crazy, and I'm glad the Knicks shed it.
Well, no, so let's
the Mavericks.
So from my end, I love this deal from the Knicks side. I absolutely love this deal.
Love it.
Love this deal.
On top of getting who they got, I love getting rid of the contracts, the 2 contracts with Hardaway and what's his face,
Courtney.
Yeah, and their 2 contracts are really big. Porzingis wasn't on a big contract.
No, but we were going to lose him.
They were going to give him $160 million or whatever it was, coming off an ACL tear. Not a big fan. And it came out that he didn't want to be on the team anyway. Yeah. So you don't want him. Okay, fine. You don't want to be here, bye. Receiving DeAndre Jordan, Wesley Matthews, who they bought out, yes. I don't agree with that. But
I think it was more of a mutual kind of thing.
Yeah,
Wesley just didn't,
Yeah, he's already getting picked up by Indiana.
Yeah, my man wants to play for a contender, and I get that.
Which is fine. Cool. Whatever.
Money is obviously the deal behind this trade. Yeah. So if we can get that, then we can get that.
So getting DeAndre and getting Dennis Smith Jr., someone who I loved.
Mm-hmm. And he's already proven dividends. My man has been playing lights out
excellently
since we got him.
Yeah. So the Knicks could have gotten him last year. They didn't. They got French Frank,
I like. French Frank.
I like, but I like.
By
Dennis
the way,
more.
I just want to put this out there. Everybody was buying Porzingis jersey. I bought a Ntilikina jersey. Who's still valid now, baby? Who's still valid now?
But the big thing here that's going to get overlooked is getting DeAndre. And I'll tell you why. Mitchell Robinson. You know who that is, right?
Yes.
20-year-old, didn't play last year. I was watching the game the other night. When I just turned it on, it was the middle of the game. First 3-4 possessions. Robinson got offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds. Scored on 2 alley-oops, an offensive rebound putback, and then I think he got an open space and scored again. He's a beast. At 20. He plays so similarly to DeAndre now, at 20 years old, than when DeAndre did when he was that young. Bringing in DeAndre is going to help Robinson so much.
And we have 2 big men who are young.
Yes.
So, you know.
So bringing in DeAndre
mentor.
is just, he's going to be like that mentor that just helps them and everybody. And it's just going to, his dynamic alone changes a team entirely.
Now I want to make this clear. I completely understand that this is a huge risk play. That if we don't land at least one top max free agent in this offseason, this deal makes us look like fools.
Yeah.
And we're going to be bad for a long time.
I mean, we're used to it. But
that's the play I'm making.
Yeah, no.
Is that like, what's the worst case scenario? We end up where we've been? You know,
Yes, actually.
Yeah,
that is the worst.
And that's
scenario.
fine. I mean, it's not fine, but, I've lived through it. You know, it's not like we're getting worse. It's just...
You can't get worse than what you're doing.
You can't get worse. You can't get worse. Of course, we picked the first year where tanking actually doesn't really help you. But, that's aside.
That's neither here nor there.
You know what? Kevin Durant is tired of hearing this shit.
Oh, my fuck.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, let's go on to the next
We're getting Kyrie and KD.
But I also want to say, because obviously I browse the subreddits for all the teams, for all the people who are saying we didn't give Porzingis a chance, or we should have kept him, or we would have gotten more value out of him next year.
Porzingis is gonna come back.
Or that that we made that deal within 30 seconds, 30 minutes of the meeting. Obviously, we were doing our footwork. Obviously, this deal was on the table before he even walked into that meeting. And if he walks into that meeting and says, "Hey guys, I don't want to be here," and we can reply by saying, "All right, here's this deal. That work for you?" Yeah, that's fine. That's okay with me. I don't feel like we need to have this. Oh well, until he says he doesn't want to be here, we shouldn't be looking for trades. What? That's not what do you think a front office does all day?
Yeah.
I just wanted to get that off my chest.
Front office lets LeBron make all the decisions. All right, let's go on to the next.
Well, that's that. That's it for Split the Room. Obviously, that's the meat and potatoes of the podcast. But we're going to end off with a few more fun, short segments. The first one being yay or nay. Now, this one is really quick. This is your chance to get your opinion out without anybody disputing you, without anybody calling you wrong. The way this works is we're going to go around 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to ask a question. The other 2 people are going to answer, and then you get to answer, and we ask the next question. So I'll go first. Yay or nay? Is Anthony Davis on the same skill level as Kevin Durant or LeBron James? Dill. Yay or nay? Nick.
Nay. He's good, but I'm not going to go to that level yet.
Okay. All right. Nick.
All right. Is the Pro Bowl the worst of the Big Four All-Star games?
Yay.
Nay.
Nay.
Yeah. I don't know which one, but I still enjoy the Pro Bowl.
I'm going to go with yay. It is.
It's terrible.
Of the All-Star.
It's cringeworthy.
All right, Del, go for it.
Did Julian Edelman deserve the Super Bowl MVP?
10 receptions, 141
It's
yards.
yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay. Nay. I truly believe that the Patriots punter deserved it. All jokes aside.
Dante Hightower, but we'll get into that
Okay.
later.
All right. My turn now, right?
Yep.
Would the Saints have given the Pats a better game? Yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay. Just QB play alone would change things.
Nay.
QB play alone.
This is the base. It's the segment. Honor the segment.
Yep. Okay.
All right, Nick.
All right. Should Barry Bonds be in the Hall of Fame?
Nay.
Yay.
Yay.
And we're not going to discuss it. Dylan, ask your question.
Is Tom Brady the all-time GOAT over MJ across all sports? Yay or nay?
Nay.
Yay.
Nay.
I'm going to say
Nay.
yay.
Nay.
I'm going to say yay. I have my reasons.
Okay.
I'm not giving him the GOAT in football yet. I'm not giving him the GOAT overall.
High five.
Douches. Are the Yankees the favorite to win the AL East?
Oh, nay.
I'm going to say yay.
Oh,
but
wow.
I said
The Yankee
before,
fan says nay.
So like I said
fan says
before,
yay.
favorite, but they're not going to win it.
I'm going to say nay. I'm still on that Boston bandwagon.
Yeah.
Nick.
Is Zion going to be the next
Zion,
whatever you want to call him?
The freak show.
Going to be the next LeBron.
Yay. I gotta say yay.
Nay. Just like no one's going to be the next Michael, no one's going to be the next LeBron.
Okay,
Getting all
Socrates.
technical
We
with
don't need
this.
the philosophical.
Sorry.
We're getting all technical.
Had to
with
get
this
in.
now here.
I had to get
He
that
has a
out
similar
there.
play style, which is why I would say yay.
I'm
can't
going
shoot
with
yet.
nay.
Okay.
All right.
Last one.
Should Andy Pettit be in the Hall of Fame? Yay or nay?
You know what? I want to say nay after that Barry Bonds one you just said. But I'm going to say yay. His stats don't lie, and they compare to those already in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I would say yay. As
would
much
say
as I
yay.
hated him when he was playing.
That was the only universal yay that we got, I think.
It might have been.
Because this one said nay to Barry Bonds, but yay to Andy Clemens.
All right, so our final real segment of the show
Clemens,
is the
That's all.
performers and headlines of the week. Dylan and Nick both will highlight a performer or performance. And I'm going to tell you a few of my headlines that I saw this week that just made me kind of scratch my head and go, why would you write this? So, Dill, who are your performers of the week?
Dante Hightower, or Dante Hightower, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, and Sony Michel. We were talking about the Patriots earlier and their Super Bowl win and Tom Brady and the Belichick system. It's just proven with those two guys. Sony Michel's a rookie, had, 6 touchdowns in the first 2 games of the playoffs. Had the only touchdown in the Super Bowl.
That's true.
He ran all over defenses all year when he was healthy. All playoffs he ran all over defenses. I believe he had over 300 yards rushing in the Super Bowl. In the playoffs, I'm sorry. And Dante Hightower's the defensive anchor on that team.
Okay.
He changes games left and right. He does everything on defense. And without him, the Patriots don't win not a Super Bowl, that Super Bowl.
Okay. Nick, who are your top performers of the week?
All right, we got.
I'm so excited for this.
Are you so excited for
I'm
this?
so
We got a
excited.
little soccer appearance in the podcast. Oh yeah.
Is it about Messi?
No.
Is it about Ronaldo?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes, it is.
technically.
You have proved my point, good sir.
Even without Ronaldo, this could still be true. Juventus. Yes, Ronaldo is on Juventus.
What have
All
they
right.
done?
What have they done? They are now the only undefeated team left out of all the soccer European leagues.
I love that you said all. That's why I don't watch soccer.
It's so confusing. It's so confusing.
Out of all the many, with not even exaggeration, sadly, many leagues. Not only we European alone, but yes,
It's a lot.
the
to take in.
only undefeated regular season undefeated. Just to clarify.
Okay.
Also, the man, Johnny Hacker.
Oh, man.
Has a Super Bowl.
Longest
record
Super Bowl, longest punt in Super Bowl history
Really?
by 1 yard. By 1 yard.
What was it?
65 yards.
Wow.
And that was near the end. That, I believe, was one of his last couple punts, too.
I thought
that
it was in
happened.
the second half. No, the first half.
Whatever.
It was the one
just
that
kept. It rolled.
Oh, yeah.
It
yeah.
rolled.
Oh, it's I remember
Roll.
that
It
one.
kept rolling.
I remember that one.
Good
On
for
top
him.
of that, 9 total punts.
Yeah.
5 inside the 20.
This is
And
what I'm saying, man.
if
They
the
should have
Rams
won
won-
MVP, like,
If
legit.
the Rams won, Johnny Hecker would have won MVP outright.
Easily.
And even with the loss, Johnny Hecker should have won
I love how you
MVP.
state that like it's a fact.
Shout out Johnny Hecker. Let's
Shout
get
out
him
Johnny
on.
Hecker. If you ever want to come to
Johnny
the show, let me know.
Hecker.
We'll take you, man.
Let's get him on the pod.
But since the Rams didn't win, Hall of Famer Julian Edelman took it. But yeah, Okay.
Hall of Famer Julian. Oh no, is that going to be a thing now?
It is. He's going to get a shirt.
Hall of Famer Julian Edelman.
It's just going to have the
shirts
beard.
will be made up soon.
Oh Jesus Christ! All right, so these are my headlines of the week. These are headlines that I just read. I read the title, and I was just like, did someone not think about what this sounds like? First one. Kyrie Irving frustrated by rumors that Durant and Anthony Davis could sway him in free agency.
I saw that.
Yeah. Yes, it will. I'm sorry, it will.
It will, but I get why he's frustrated.
Yeah, but come on, we're in the NBA.
Wait,
this
you
is
mean
not like
people
new.
sway each other and talk
Exactly.
to each other and
You
try to
mean
make these?
I might want to sign with the best players in the nation.
This would be
What?
the first time ever.
Oh my god!
But
what a stretch.
I get why he's mad.
Yeah,
because you want to be the guy. I want to go where I want to go because of my own reasons, not because Kevin Durant, his sister, and his friend is over there too.
Yeah.
Well, it's one thing. It's one thing. It's one thing for the public to know that, and one thing for that just to be the reason and not known. So for you to go out and say I'm frustrated because they're going to sway me is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to start. He's got to worry every day that it doesn't fall off the earth. So
it's flat.
So exactly. Moving
Shout
on.
out, Harry.
The next one that made me laugh is Tom Brady says when he's called the GOAT, it makes him cringe.
I get it.
I get it.
Because he knows he's not the GOAT.
All right, I don't think we need to go any further on that. That was perfect. This one came out today, and this one had me dying just because this is the world we live in now. Chiefs GM says Patrick Mahomes won't be playing pickup basketball anymore after viral video.
All right, I want to say let them play.
I know
my pinky is forever messed up from playing basketball because it went back once just from someone trying to get a rebound with me.
Just for those of you out there, Nick is all beat up.
All right, that has nothing to do with it though. if you hurt Mahomes, especially hand. If anything happened, that's...
Well, it's not the hand. I don't know. Have you seen this video?
Yes.
This video, my man looks like Kyrie Irving out there. My man is breaking ankles.
That's good.
And I wouldn't...
Let's just hope he doesn't break his own.
That's the thing. I get from a Chiefs perspective that you're like, those knees.
It's one of those shooting baskets and playing full-on games.
Exactly. You want to play basketball as a workout at home.
Shoot around type of thing.
But playing pickup basketball and looking like, Isaiah Thomas out there. They
even tell some of the guys, don't play basketball for cardio. Go do something else.
And that's the thing. I just love that this was an article. That the man was that the GM felt the need to come out after that video went viral and say, yeah, he won't be playing pickup basketball anymore.
Mahomes could just play whatever sport he wants, is what
true.
I've got from this video.
He can go on the mound and throw 95 right now if he wanted to.
He did.
So, So I think that's all we really have. Is there anything you guys want to mention before we go? One thing I saw yesterday is that Modern Families is going to be ending next season, and it's one of the few sitcoms that made it past the decade, which is interesting to me. That sitcoms are, for all the shows we have, you look at shows like The Office, who have this huge cult following, only 8 seasons. So it's really something.
One of my all-time favorites.
Exactly, and it's really something that they made it to 11 seasons before, obviously.
It just attributes to the following it has and how successful it's been. I love that show.
It amazes me it's been on for 11
Hilarious
years.
Show.
I remember when it came on. I remember when it first came on. It's funny, you take things like a gay couple for granted, and that was big when it first came out. It was huge.
Also, if you haven't checked out yet, Fire Festival documentary on Hulu or Netflix.
I haven't seen them yet.
You have to see it.
I haven't seen it either.
They're obviously about the same thing,
Okay.
but they're kind of made from different perspectives, the Hulu and the Netflix one. It's this huge music festival that was supposed to happen on this island.
Yeah.
Ja Rule was a
Part
part of it. And the whole thing turned out to this huge scam. The guy's in jail. It's...
If you had to pick one, which one would you pick? If I could only watch one.
A lot of people, I feel like the more popular might be the Netflix one.
Okay.
I think, though, honestly, if you have the time, both of them are actually good to watch.
So they fill in blanks for each other?
I think so. Personally,
Okay.
I believe so. The Netflix one might be a little more exciting. The Hulu one, a little slower, but I feel like it fills in some
more
things better
educational.
and
Okay.
goes a little more, to say, in chronological order, where Netflix may jump around a little more.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was on Hulu.
Yeah, it's
Two
different.
completely
It's two
different
different ones.
That's
It's two different
crazy.
ones. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Hulu's released by surprise. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Netflix
Netflix
one was
was-
announced well in advance.
And
I
Hulu
didn't even
released
hear
it
about it. I
before
just
them.
saw it one day scrolling
Hulu
through.
just released it before them.
Yeah.
They're like,
It was such a
Really?
that's such
Yeah.
a cutthroat move. Anything
yeah,
you want
check it
to
out.
mention, or are you good?
I'm good.
All right. Well,
Okay,
if you're still hanging on, thanks for listening. I'm Alejandro.
I'm Dylan.
Nick?
Sportsaholics Unanimous.